Hey everybody, welcome back to Backlog Banter. Today is a very exciting day for me because Nintendo just, God forbid, did something. On Twitter about
Oh
20
God.
minutes ago as the time of recording, so shocking that Tucker just bumped his fucking camera setup over. Nintendo just announced their first party announcement since May's. That's very distracting. I want to throw a fucking red Pikmin right at you and take you down, carry your corpse back to my onion. They announced their first-party game since May's announcement of Paper Mario: The Origami King this morning on Twitter, which is Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Pikmin 3 Deluxe is a game that has been rumored for a long time. People like the people's champion Jeffy Grubb have said that this game has
Good old Jeffy
existed.
Grub.
Good old Jeffy Grubb, but now it's official and it's coming on October 30th. To give you a bit of a quick rundown before we get into our thoughts, it's basically the base Pikmin 3 game, plus all of its DLC, plus some new side content featuring missions with Olimar and Louie, as well as some new difficulty options, the ability to play the whole main campaign in co-op, and some other little tweaks here and there. But that's really the bulk of it. For the most part, it is just Pikmin 3, but it seems like this side content with Olimar and Louie is really going to be the big new addition. But Tucker, how are you feeling? Are you as excited for this as I am?
Well, I clearly not. But that's only because I'm not a Pikmin fan. I would like to say that we can now take this copy of Pikmin 3 Nintendo Selects on Wii U and just go like that.
Oh, it's a bit. It's a recurring bit.
Don't worry. I took out the disc. So
Okay.
that was just the shitty plastic. Oh, I also took out the Wii U thing
You gotta
that
keep
they
that.
the mandatory thing that they include. But no, I am excited for this. We were actually just talking about probably 2 days ago about me playing Pikmin 3 so we could do a video on it with a friend of Abrams. And I was, okay, I'll take my Wii U to college. I'll play the game. But, that is now less necessary because I would much rather wait for a Switch port than play it on Wii U because don't need to do that anymore. But I do think this is really cool because it gives us a hint of hopefully what it's going to be like if they do more Wii U ports in the future, like if there is a 3D World one, if there, maybe is I guess they already did one for 1-1. I'm behind on the times, but that this actually does seem like more of a substantial port than some of the other ones. This isn't a funky mode.
Correct.
This is actually something much more significant in terms of added content, and I'm very oh my god, potential spam, go away.
There've been so many fucking spam calls recently.
Yeah. It's insane. I got an email from Google last night saying that I might I'm not under a lawsuit, but I am eligible to get $12.
You're under a lawsuit for having too cool of a mustache.
Mustache, yes.
Here's something I want to say to that point really quickly, though. My main
mustache?
concern, not your mustache, as much as I'd love to talk about it. One of my main concerns for Pikmin 3 Deluxe is that this won't end up being very substantial extra content. Because I don't know how well versed in the Wii U ports you are, but I have played Carry the One, literally all of them. And Captain Toad Treasure Tracker came to Switch. And I got a review copy for that, and I was very excited because I played the game on Wii U, had forgotten a lot of it, and running back through it, it's a pretty fun game. But what I was most excited for was the new Odyssey content. The Odyssey content was advertised as a brand new chapter, including new missions. It's 4 missions, and you can complete them in 15 minutes total.
Wow, yeah.
So, for as excited as I am for this new content, I'm not yet counting my chickens before they hatch, as the old farming agrarian expression likes to go, because there was very little details as to the actual scope of this extra content. So for me, that's not necessarily why I'm excited for it.
I'm excited just to play the game in a format that is not using my Wii U gamepad, which my Wii U has sort of started to break down.
Don't listen to him.
I had problems even watching Netflix on my Wii U without it like having a season. So if I end up bringing it to college and trying to play games on it, I don't even know if that's going to work. So I might just bring my Wii as a backup for my Wii U. But the Wii U is quickly became more and more obsolete, and now it's finally closing those chapters. Which this was one of the last Wii U ports that people wanted. I mean, I think. Really, 3D World and Xenoblade Chronicles X are the two left that are on Wii U.
So, I mean, I love Nintendo Land, but that's not going to happen. Just
technically that
speaking.
One's bad, so it doesn't matter.
Well, there's another fucking discussion right there. But also, I think the Zelda 3D remakes will be great, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
For me, I'm excited about this port for a couple reasons. The biggest reason for me, so I have played Pikmin 3 on Wii U. I never completed it. I always found it a little bit clunky to play on the console. For one, one thing I'm really curious about in the Switch version is how they're going to address the controls, because you could play with the gamepad. I found it a little bit clumsy. You could play with the Pro Controller, also a little bit clumsy. The best way to play Pikmin is with a Wii Remote Nunchuck, but of course that's not available here. So it'll be interesting to see how they address that. But for me, I'm excited, to just get to finish the game and play it in a format that I find more comfortable, as I tend to prefer handheld gaming just personally. But what I'm more excited for is that this is a chance for Pikmin to succeed, finally, and to be introduced to new players like you, because Pikmin, of course, got good old Pikmin 2 on the GameCube right here. Pikmin 1 and 2 great games, but their appeal and reach was limited on the GameCube.
Yeah.
And then Pikmin 3 was developed for Wii, but got bumped to Wii U. So then, of course, that kind of fucked over its appeal too again. And the first two games did come out on Wii as new play control titles, but Pikmin 2 New Play Control only came out in Europe and Japan. So the Pikmin series has never really had an opportunity to shine.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm in a more altruistic way very excited to see your impressions of this game, because I'm really curious how it's going to connect with a new crop of fans.
Yeah. That's definitely something to be excited for. I'm out here just thinking about this concept of me actually playing Pikmin 3, and number one, being worried, how much is this going to cost? I do not want to pay $60 for Pikmin.
You will pay $60 for Pikmin.
Nintendo, if you're listening, Backlog Banter, the new up and coming gaming YouTube channel, right? We're gonna get verified right after Fall Guys was verified yesterday. We are next on the docket. I have insider information from Twitter. They're feeding me right through this head zone. That was a whole sentence that I messed up. But send me a review copy, Nintendo. I'm not necessarily sold on paying $60 for this game when I got it for 15 or 20 on Nintendo Selects on Wii U. So if it is a $60 game, I might actually just play the original version and get your thoughts on the full one, because I'm not sold on a $60 Wii U port. I've never bought any of the Wii U ports for $60.
Did you buy 8 Deluxe? Because 8 Deluxe.
Yeah. 8 Deluxe is kind of a different story almost.
And I think that's what's interesting to me, because I've been waiting for a Wii U port since 8 Deluxe to really feel like it justifies the $6 price tag. I think the one that does it, which I don't think you played, is Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition.
Yeah.
Which bundled in a ton of content from the Wii U and 3DS versions. Yeah, and that was a really compelling package. But I think since then, the ports really haven't justified their cost with the new content. So that's why I'm focusing personally more on the concept of getting Pikmin to a new audience, getting to play through this game in a more comfortable format for me, than the prospect of new content, just because we don't know its scope. But it could be, this could be a situation like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and like Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, where we actually get a title worth that price tag.
Yeah. The last thing I want to talk about with this is that this wasn't. They could have easily just made a fucking mini direct and just slid this as the big announcement of the mini direct. I'm just so tired of these Twitter announcements. I so much enjoy live reactions. I so much enjoy the discussion and hype that comes around even a mini direct. And there's things like third-party things they could have slid around this and just made this the one big Nintendo announcement, but they didn't. And that's pretty disappointing to me. We had our most popular video on this channel is us saying Nintendo's 2020 disaster. And while this does add a little bit of padding to it, it's not much. This is not the big announcement we're looking forward to. This is a drop that in some ways is deserving of just a Twitter thing, because it is not a gigantic announcement. This is a late Wii U port, over 3 years into the Switch's life cycle, years after it was rumored, years and years after Pikmin 4 was officially announced. Well, announced.
Pikmin
whatever.
4 was close to completion in 2015.
That is horse shit. Excuse me, Miyamoto, but that is horse shit.
Yeah. I think, I agree with you. And that there's a direct component that confuses me, and the other confusing component for me is that release date.
God.
And they both go hand in hand for me. Excuse me, I just had a fucking mango strawberry smoothie and I had to burp it back up. The lactose is fighting my desire to talk about Pikmin. But for me, releasing this announcement as they did, especially in light of their string of tone-deaf marketing decisions recently, with July's Treehouse Bakugan debacle, and then the partner showcase going the way the partner showcase did. It was confusing. And on a personal note, I was sitting down. I have a couple really exciting Nintendo interviews I'm working on. And I was sitting down to get started on those, and I happened to get a message in the Nintendo Slack from one of my editors who said Pikmin. And I'm like, wait, what? So all of a sudden, my schedule for content I'm working on just got shifted around majorly. So I just really don't think that these random announcements benefit anybody.
Yeah.
So in that sense, that is disappointing. But I think for me, I am more disappointed by that release date, because that telegraphs, in my opinion, that we're getting nothing between now and then.
Yeah.
And
it's what, October? Is it fucking Halloween?
October 30th. It
It's
misses Halloween by. Is it
October 30th Halloween?
There's a
Or is it
31st.
the 31st? I don't know.
30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31, except for February. So there are 31 days in that month. And that is strange to me and a little bit concerning, because there's been a refrain in the community recently that, oh, Nintendo will drop something at any time. And my counter to that has always been, Nintendo is not going to drop a substantial title on Twitter and release it in a short period of time.
Yeah.
If they want to give August, September, and almost all of October to a hype cycle for Pikmin 3 Deluxe, as exciting as it is for me personally, that choreographs to me that we're getting nothing until until that game, and then perhaps a holiday title. But in my honest opinion, and I'm fucking putting it out on a limb right now, this is the last Nintendo title for 2020.
Ooh,
I'm putting it out.
That is a big blow to their wallets as well as our content enjoyment. Man, I'm a Nintendo gamer. I always have been. I had a DS and a Wii growing up, and I really haven't stopped. But this is the first year of me paying attention to Nintendo content where I really have been disappointed. Even in the years like 2018 and in some ways 2019, where there wasn't. Don't listen to me. Okay, let's go with 2018. All right, let's go with 2018. That was not as disappointing to me because there were games coming out. I just wasn't personally engaged by them. But this is not. This is in some ways worse than 2015, which some people tout as Nintendo's real disaster year, which still had Mario Maker and Splatoon, if I'm correct, right?
It did, and it also had stuff like Xenoblade Chronicles X and Yoshi's Woolly World, and
those are four big games. Those are four big games, all right.
And a bunch of great 3DS games. I'll always say that 2016 was a worse year than 2015, because we really didn't get dick that year. But for me, I have to agree with you. And I'm always reminded of a little year called 2003, a little year that included the release of Pikmin 2. It also included the release of Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. It also included the release of Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, but I don't own that one. And those were the only 3 games Nintendo released on GameCube that year. And there's something to be said for the fact that these 2 games, and 1000 Year Door, being considered some of Nintendo's best games of all time, right? And there's something
Metroid Prime 2? Is that one of the... I don't hear anything about that game.
You talk to somebody who likes Metroid Prime, and they're going to fucking evangelize these games till the cows come home. I'll always champion the 2D games, right? But people love those games. And I kind of feel like Nintendo is falling back into a strange rut where when they release games, they're very high quality, but the release count is just not there. And I think that's more disappointing now than ever, because Nintendo's, when they consolidated handheld and home console development, it seemed like we're going to get a larger output of games instead of a lesser output. And when I look at 2020, I mean, Animal Crossing, even though I didn't like it that much, is a really polished, incredible game. We have, things like Clubhouse games, Xenoblade Chronicles, now this, Mystery Dungeon DX, Tokyo Mario Sessions. Like, there's good content.
Mystery Dungeon came out this year. No one talked about that.
I reviewed it.
I don't remember that. Don't read your reviews. Not gonna lie.
but it is just disappointing to see. Now, okay, we're getting some high quality software, but it's just coming at such a slow pace, that And it's not like we even have a 3DS. It's not even like in those Wii U days where it's like, oh, there's so little coming. But got my 3DS right here. You know, when this bad Jackson has nothing coming to it, this always had something popping off. But we don't have that right now, which is disappointing.
Yeah.
And this announcement, the announcement itself, not the game, but the physical announcement of it and its release date, definitely bummed me out a little bit because I honestly expected that Pikmin 3 Deluxe was real and that it was going to come either at the end of August or beginning of September.
It's not a game that needs a hype cycle. Not gonna lie, Nintendo. Not a game that needs a hype cycle. But they're doing it. They're doing it. So, you know, we're gonna be up on all the Nintendo news for the rest of the year, whatever it may be. Are we not gonna get another Smash character at all this year? That'll be
we did just get Small Battlefield last night.
Oh, I meant to mention that. The real news of the last 24 hours is Small Battlefield, which I find absolutely hilarious and somewhat exciting. Just the fact that they decided to release a new stage like that, and it to be a stage that no one was asking for, but is fucking funny. Just the idea of going and say, hey, you and me, 1v1, Small Battlefield only. You know, we'll settle it on Small Battlefield.
I thought that was kind of dumb, but actually seems like it's kind of a cool 1v1 stage, and apparently you can pick any music track for it. Any music track, which is cool. But that's besides the point. Do you have anything else you want to say about Pikmin 3? Because I have got two little insider baseball things I want to say.
Just blow your load right here, right now.
Oh, I will. First of all, one quick little disappointment for me regarding this game in particular is that I was hoping that the bingo battle mode was going to be online. I think that would have been a huge factor in justifying this port's a price tag and importance. Because Bingo Battle, if you haven't played Pikmin, you wouldn't know, but it's this really fun local multiplayer mode that I would have loved to fucking crush you in online. And it doesn't seem like that's going online, at least not from the wording of the press release or anything that's said on Twitter and the trailer. But I just want to close up the discussion because we have been pretty down in the dumps talking about Pikmin 3 Deluxe. So I just want to say that Pikmin 3 is a wonderful game. From what I have played, I'm excited to play it on the Switch in a format I like in handheld mode, chilling in my dorm room, and really enjoy it because it is, I think, one of the most beautiful games I've ever experienced. It has some of the most personality of any game I've ever played. I think the Pikmin franchise is just such a unique and fun and colorful and creative little entry in Nintendo's stable of IP. And I really think that anybody who has a Switch that has missed Pikmin in the past because of the way it's been released, to really give this one a chance. You don't need to have played Pikmin 1 or 2 to appreciate this game. You really don't. There's no harm in jumping in with Pikmin 3, and this does seem like it's going to be the best version. And hopefully that extra content is expansive enough that returning folks like me can enjoy it beyond just getting to really experience this game in what's hopefully a more user-friendly package on a more user-friendly system. So I really implore anybody to check out Pikmin 3 Deluxe when it comes out because it is a great game. So
yeah, honestly, I'm looking forward to it just in the fact that this might herald a release of Pikmin 4 in whatever fashion and time slot that might come in, but also the fact that this will be the biggest. That I would guarantee you this will be the biggest a Pikmin game has ever done numbers wise. Tropical Freeze being not a great example of how to handle a port, but of how to re-release something and get it to relatively explode in popularity.
I think it about doubled its sales, which was nice to see. I mean, it didn't burn the barn down, but I think it did almost 3 million on Switch, which is nice.
Yeah. So definitely it's going to be something to look forward to. So I think that about wraps up for this conversation. We talked about a 1 minute and 40 second trailer for probably 25 minutes. You know, that's how it goes here at good old BLB. But follow us both on Twitter. The links are down in the description. Please follow the Backlog Banter Twitter account. I am on that account way too much and putting out way too many tweets that nobody likes. That's just my style is very fantastic, high quality tweets that nobody sees.
Tucker really puts in the fucking work in that Twitter for real. I get engagement on my Twitter and I don't do shit. I just yell about stuff sometimes and I get a ton of likes. When I look at the Backlog Banter account and Twitter, Tucker's putting in fucking work. God damn. Go follow us on Twitter.
And also subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you watch this entire video and didn't subscribe to us, I'm going to be genuinely shocked because this was such an amazing video. Actually, one of our best, most engaging and snappy content that we've made. So I'm excited to see what you guys think of this video. I'm feeling like a real YouTuber right now, you know?
if you got this far into the video, comment Olimar's bulbous sniffer. And if you comment that, I'll know you made it this far, and I will shout you out in the next episode of Backlog Banter.
That sounds good to me. I guess we'll see you guys in another video.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Okay, are you ready to rumble?
Yeah.
Just take the glasses off.
All right. I've got something prepared for this.
Do I have a sexy librarian look if I have my glasses on?
Always, yeah.
Okay, that's good. I like a sexy librarian.
That comes without saying.
Okay.
I come without saying as well.
You always got to notify. It's poor form not to.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.